It's Indiana in the Morning, presented as always by First Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS, AM 1160, FM 101.1. And the folks from the Evergreen Conservancy are here. Cindy Rogers is here. Jamie, always have to help me with your last name because I mess it up. Douthit. See, it's always the way it's spelled, but I never trust myself. I never do. And with them this morning is Dr. Mike Tyree, Assistant Professor of Plant Physiological Ecology in the Biology Department at IUP. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's good to have you all with us here today. The program coming up on Friday the 29th of September is at Blue Spruce Park, and it's What's Buggin' Our Trees? And we can see the evidence of our trees. They're certainly being pestered right now, Cindy, are they not?
They are, and we'll let Mike talk to you about that because he's our tree expert.
Absolutely. Dr. Mike. When I grew up, my physician's name was Dr. Mike. What is Buggin' Our Trees? And it's not just one thing, is it?
No, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it can be quite depressing when you start thinking about all the things and all the trees that we like and everything that seems to be impacting them. So we're going to talk about two specifically, but we'll mention a few others during the program.
Okay, and the program is at Blue Spruce Park, and the trees that you're speaking about, there are actually some of those at Blue Spruce.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, okay. We have representatives that we can look at either out at Blue Spruce or right here in town or on campus. So it hits close to home. Okay,
so at Blue Spruce Park, the park is named Blue Spruce after all. And spruce trees are affected by a pest right now.
They are, yeah.
And what is that pest?
I believe there's some sort of fungus that is killing them pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
And it seems that when they get hit, it doesn't take very long for them to wipe out that tree. So.
And it's not just spruces. It's the whole evergreen family, isn't it?
Many of them are.
Yeah.
So there's a number of trees. The one that we spend, or at least think about the most, or I do because it's our state tree, is eastern hemlock. And that one's getting hit pretty hard right now.
In my side yard, I have 250 evergreen trees of all different varieties, and they're sticks now. And it has taken about 3 years for them to be completely decimated. Some of them are 25 to 30 feet tall. Some of them are just little babies. But they were just completely wiped out, and it took only about 3 years.
Yeah.
How do fungi attack trees of this nature? How does the fungus actually make it to a given tree?
Usually it's hitching a ride on some sort of insect. So in the case of Dutch elm disease, which is probably one of the most well-known cases with our street trees, it's an invasive fungus that gets flown around on the back of a beetle, and when the beetle attacks, it brings the fungus along, and then the fungus kind of takes over from there. And it's a pretty effective way of getting this particular pathogen moved around.
And it jumps from tree to tree very rapidly.
It can, once it's in a tree, it can move right down a row. So elm their roots will graft together, so if one tree is diseased, it can very easily get transmitted to the neighbor trees.
So you're going to be speaking at Blue Spruce on the 29th.
Right.
How are you going to format the talk?
Most of the talk is going to be about two problems that we have in our area, and we're going to show some data from some work that we've been doing. Looking at American chestnut, trying to get some of the blight-resistant varieties planted and looking at what the survival of those are. And then some data that we're collecting on eastern hemlock, trying to look at tree ring data to give us some insight into when the adelgid started to attack the tree, how long it took to kill the tree, and whether those trees can recover based on some sort of treatment that's been applied to them.
And when people come and they hear news of this sort, they usually come because they're worried about their own trees.
Yeah.
They've seen the effects on their own trees.
Yeah, so most people, particularly older people that have been around to see American chestnut when it was growing in our forests, they certainly know of the impact of the blight that came through. Right now, though, the most recent attack that we're going to talk about is the eastern hemlock, and that wave has been moving steadily westward, and we're kind of on the front of it now. You'll see it on our street trees. You can see it on campus. I haven't found it in our forests yet, but it's just a matter of time.
Look up my side yard. It's there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how quickly it goes. The trees that were healthy a year ago, I can walk out and I could literally, the tree has, from the roots and everything, it's just fallen over, and I can drag a tree that was 25 or 30 feet tall myself. I can drag it off into the woods to dispose of it.
Yeah, it's sickening what it's doing to our trees.
It really is. All right, well, that's depressing. Thanks so much.
People can also bring questions, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be lots of time for questions and answers.
And there
Yeah.
are success stories. So
Well,
the
that's
American
good.
chestnut, we do have maybe a success story.
Well,
there.
that's good to hear. What time is the program?
Starts at 7.
Starts at 7. It's absolutely free.
Yes.
And
And
folks
it's
can
at the
come
lodge.
At the lodge at Blue Spruce Park. Okay, well, try your best to come up with something that's going to make us feel good about this, okay, Dr. Mike? Gracious sakes. Cindy, good morning to you and to
Good
Jamie.
morning. I would like Jamie to talk a little bit about something that we're really excited about. We're going to be doing an eco tour in Indiana, and we're going to be kicking it off this fall. So I'll let Jamie talk about that a little bit.
All right, Jamie, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you back with us. What's going on?
Well, so I don't know if you remember last time I was here, but you informed me that we had received a grant, and that was the first I had heard of that. So that was pretty exciting. And I'm happy to report that with that grant funding, we have been able to throw together an eco tour for Indiana County, and that is going to be done through geocaching.
Okay.
Are you familiar with geocaching?
I am, but I bet you there are listeners out there who are not.
Okay. I'm going to do my best to explain it. But if you want to jump in, feel free.
Trust me, you don't want me to try to explain things. I'm not a good explainer.
All right. Well, I'll try my hand at it then.
Okay.
So geocaching is a modern day treasure hunt, sort of. So basically what happens is geocachers go out and they hide a little treasure box in the woods. They sometimes hide them in cities, pretty much anywhere. And you can find the GPS coordinates of that treasure box online, and then you use your GPS. Either you can use the mobile app for geocaching or a handheld device, and you go out and you find it. And inside the box, there are always little tchotchkes and trinkets and things you can take as long as you put one back. So when you go, you make sure you have something fun you can replace, and then you can go home with a new toy.
There you go.
Yeah.
You did well.
Thank you.
Congratulations
I hope
on that.
everybody,
Don't take the box, boys and girls. Just leave the box, leave something behind.
Yes, take a trinket.
Okay.
So our geocache trail is going to have 20 sites featured on it. So we are working on hiding 20 geocaches in Indiana County, and they are all going to take participants to some kind of environmentally important something. So, for instance, we have some farms on our geo trail that are going to teach you about sustainable farming practices. We have some riparian buffers, which is that area next to a stream that we really like to have vegetated with trees and bushes and things like that that help with water quality, and so on and so forth. There's tons of sites, healthy communities, so there's parks on there, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, and I think folks might be surprised that you can be in a town like Indiana, and right in the heart of Indiana, you can find environmental sites, environmentally important sites, and we might think of it being something rural and out in the woods somewhere, Cindy, but that's not always true.
No, and each one of these sites, as you go to it, you'll find a card in it that talks about why we think that site's important. There'll be folks that have solar arrays on their houses, geothermal, lots of things that we want to show off in Indiana County. We want to bring people in here and show them that we have a lot of really cool things, and also tell the people in the county what's here and how they can do things.
Yeah, so that sounds exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
And we also, you'll get a passport, and you put a code on the passport for each one of the sites that you find.
Oh, I see.
And then you can turn the passport in and get a prize at the end.
So at the site, you'll find a code that you're going to enter into your passport.
Yes, because you have to prove to us that you actually went to the site. We want you to learn.
There you go. There you go. No cheating.
No cheating.
Well, that's wonderful. When is this going to take place?
We are still in the process of getting it set up, but we are looking at having a little launch event sometime in early November. We're looking at the
4th, November
right
4th,
November
possibly.
4th?
But
Awesome.
we'll get advertisement out about it, but we're pretty excited about it. And we think people will really take advantage of it because it's a nice day out. It'll be
Sure.
fun to get out and find things.
Yeah. All right. So we've got the program coming up at Blue Spruce Park, and that'll be next Friday, the 29th, beginning at 7 p.m. We've got that coming up that Jamie was talking about. What else is there? Anything else we need to let folks know about, Cindy?
October 14th, we have one of our fall cleanups on the Hoodlebug Trail starting at the Homer City Ballpark at 9 o'clock. We'll be doing some environmental education programs out at Sonoma in October. We're working on our system out there. We got flooded out twice, so we have to do some work on our pavilion. And don't forget, this fall, it's, I hate to say it, but Christmas is coming up. We'll be selling a lot of items, handmade items for sale. You can always go to our website, but check us out at different venues this fall.
Good plan. Good plan. And Dr. Mike is going to come out to my place and help me clean up the carcasses of my evergreen trees that have been attacked. Aren't you?
I can't wait.
Yeah, I bet
Can't
you
wait.
can. I bet you can. I can see the enthusiasm in your face right there. Well, the Evergreen Conservancy, hard at work, of course, always here at Indiana County. Again, that program at Blue Spruce is on the 29th. That's a Friday at 7 p.m. in the lodge. And Dr. Mike Tyree will be talking to you about that. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
And Jamie, I don't have any news for you today.
That's all right.
If only I could give you more money, I would.